She's currently in prison, and he's also going to be on with his ace Deuce. Jesse Nava, if you will. Hey, what's up, Haley? Hey, what up, Abby H3? How's it going? Hey, thank you. Highly appreciate those daily hearts. Highly appreciate you guys. Hopefully, you guys could hear me. If you guys could hear me, give me a thumbs up. If you can't hear me, hit a thumbs down. Let me see. Is my microphone meter moving? Yup, it is moving. All right, so it is ringing. Okay. We got the prison phone ringing.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de...
This call is now being recorded.
Can you guys hear the recording from
Un
GTO?
individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Hello. What's up, James?
What up, David? How's it going?
Man, it's going. I'll tell you that, man. Still here, still in Centinela, incarcerated. Right here with my H-Deuce, Jesse Nava, posted. What's cracking with you?
Man, so we just got back in from town. We were out in LA for the second week in a row, and it was a long drive back, but we left early enough to at least be able to enjoy some of our day, back home. We went to do a little bit of sightseeing. We went to get some of that LA food, and went to visit family. I went to visit my sister and her husband and her kids, and we were out there for 2 days. So. But we're back to reality, getting back into the groove, we're having to go back to work tomorrow.
That's the crazy part, right, is no matter how long people live in LA, you always find yourself sightseeing. I've noticed that. I grew up in that area over there, but I still behave like a tourist. I'll go stop by, I'll be like, I'll go to Hollywood and kick back and look at the stars and the Hollywood sign, and that's stuff that I've seen half my childhood. Go to the beach, but I'm kind of go ahead.
So right now, and I forgot that you're from that area right there. I was off of today on the way back. We stopped right there on Amar and Puente. I'm not sure if you've ever been to some spot called Chris's Burger.
Amar and Puente. So
yeah.
Amar and Puente, that shit's way down. Okay, so there's a freeway off ramp.
Yeah.
Puente, right? And it's off of the 10 freeway.
That's correct.
Yeah. So if you're over there off of Amar and Puente, there's a street that runs along right there. Well, Puente, and then actually Amar and Puente, that's Bassett. That's right there on their hood is right along that.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. I'm aware of what the neighborhoods that are located right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're all right. Well,
I had a buddy, my buddy.
I don't remember that burger.
Okay, yeah. So I had a buddy that I met him when I used to live in LA, and his family moved them. They moved them because they wanted to get him away from the street. So they ended up moving to Eagle Rock. And from Eagle Rock, they ended up landing in La Puente. So he's been living out in La Puente since like the mid '90s. So La Puente, that area was like our second home. We would go out there a lot. We spent a lot of time out there. So from time to time we would, when we're driving back home, we'll make like a pit stop there. So today that was one of those days, man. I was like, man, I was craving one of those. They got these really good steak sandwiches at Chris's Burger. I think we stopped there like at 8 o'clock in the morning. My lady was like, "Hey, you can't be eating those steak sandwiches at 8 o'clock in the morning." I was like, "You better believe I'm gonna eat a steak sandwich at 8 o'clock in the morning." As a matter of fact, hopefully they make steak sandwiches at 8 a.m. in the morning. So luckily for me, they did, and man, I messed it up. My wife was like, "Damn, that looks really good." I was like, "Here, have a bite," and she's like, "Oh yeah, now I know why you're eating a steak sandwich at 8 a.m. in the morning."
Yep, that's exactly why. The crazy part, so where I grew up at is actually, I spent time in that area right there because one of my boys was from right there, around where you were at. So, but I grew up close to Amar in Nogales.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I know exactly where that's
You know
at.
what I was thinking? Amar Nogales is so that's like houses up on that area right there, and like shopping centers basically on Amar Nogales. But you know what? Down the way, like Valley Boulevard in Nogales is actually closer to where I grew up at. Right around that whole area right there.
Yeah.
And even Amar and Azusa.
Yeah.
Amar runs all along that whole area.
Yeah, do you remember right there on Amar in Azusa,
Yep.
there used to be a Blockbuster. There was a Rite Aid, a Blockbuster, a McDonald's right on the corner.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, the McDonald's on the corner, a bank across the street, and then right down the street from that is that giant hotel. It used to be the Sheraton, but now it's something else.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely know that area right there.
That's old school.
Going way back.
I used to trip out on them big old diving boards right there. Yeah, going way back. They used to have, like, if you're going down towards the 60 freeway, they had them big old diving boards right there. But, I mean, that's what it is, though. But, man, it's been pretty crazy. Jesse's right here, too. He'll be with us in a minute. We came in from yard at around 3:50. So I got my bird bath out of the way, and my boy right here, he's finishing his bird bath. And we've done so much cell time that we're like a machine when it comes to this. Bird bathing, laundry, all this stuff was done right now while I was on this live.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Man, you know what? And I know a lot of stuff has been going on over there in Centinela. I've been hearing like this and that going on, and I know we haven't been on, so hopefully you could share some of that with our audience.
Well, you know that somebody tried to wax Silas, right?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he called me. He sent me a message that day, and then we jumped on a phone call for like about an hour, and he was giving us a play by play. When that incident occurred, and interesting enough, that day before they went down, he had actually called me up, and he had mentioned it to me a few times before that there was like some issues going on where there's a certain individual was dropping off some notes in front of his door, and then when he would see him, like he would act like everything was like fine and dandy, and then he was trying to get moved over to your building, and he was like, I think he had mentioned that day that happened. I think they were supposed to move him I think the following day in the morning, and then the whole incident happened, and I was like, damn, talk about being a dollar later, a dollar short.
Yeah, but I think that something on the yard might have happened anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely would have put him in a safer position than where he was in a hornet's nest over there. Unfortunately, look, prison, it's a giant hornet's nest. It's like it's like a hornet's colony. Every building has its own little hornet's nest when it kicks up. So it's a dangerous place in here. A lot of people don't understand that. No matter how good you're doing, there's always going to be somebody that wants to take what you got. Most of the time, people don't act on it. People they see, they sit back and they see, and it's the same with Jesse and I. We see it. We're the kind of people that we make people feel a certain way no matter what we do. It's just what it is. We don't have the ability not to shine and not to succeed. We did it on the other side. We did it in the bad stuff, and we do it in the good stuff. And that comes with a lot of haters, man. There's people, unfortunately, that's all they'll ever be. They're never going to amount to nothing. And the thing is with us, though, is we don't rub that in nobody's face. It's just the way that we live our lives, the way we move about. I guess that's enough to do it.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
We reach our hand out and we extend our hand to everybody. We give everybody a fair shake. If there's people that they don't got it all together, we're not going to be around them all the time because we don't need to get caught up in their stuff. But the fact of the matter is people are welcome to share our change and to share our recovery. We've watched this, There's a Criminals and Gang Members Anonymous step 2. Those who've trudged the path of recovery before us. We're those people. We've trudged it. We believe that change is possible. So we extend that to everybody. But if somebody bites that hand, we're not going to, most likely, we're not going to reach out and get that done again. You know, so we could see it. We could see, okay, well, we're going to give this guy an opportunity because nobody else will. And we were those people that, you know, we're our own trailblazers anyway, so we don't really need anybody to do anything. But we reach out, we give people an opportunity, and believe it or not, people try to take that and they try to flip it against us. And Silas, he's one of those people. Silas is a trailblazer. He's not one of those people that bit the hand that we gave him. No, Silas, he paves his own road. He did it. He's established himself. He's got a bachelor's degree from San Diego State. A lot of people in the prison system do not have bachelor's degrees. He was in the first cohort. He's one of those people that put himself in the right place at the right time because he knows what to look for, and he takes advantage of those positive opportunities, and he's succeeding. And there's guys that hate his freaking guts for it. You know, and there's guys in here that'll hate Silas for his intelligence. They'll hate him because of his drive. They'll hate him because of the way he writes. And they'll hate him just because he's black. That's how a lot of guys are in here. And we think that that's just freaking insane. This man, it doesn't matter what he looks like. Silas is an amazing person. And because he was an amazing person, somebody tried to hit him in the throat the other day with a weapon.
You know what?
So we're mindful of that.
And he shared something with, you know, about that day that I found interesting. You know, the administration kind of what was going on, and they kind of make jokes about it. You know, ultimately, you know, when the event happened, and they wanted him to sign off on a chrono. They wanted him to stay on the same yard. With that individual, and me as a free man, I'll be like, hell no, I wouldn't want to stay on the same yard as somebody that attacked me. And the interesting part that he shared with me was that individual that went off, he had already done it a few other times, and all the other individuals that he attacked, everybody signed off on a marriage chrono, and he was able to victimize many other people. That could have been put to an end 3-4 people ago if they were not signed off on that chrono. Why do you think it is that?
So,
go ahead.
This is why. So, I know Benny, the guy who did it.
Yeah.
I've known him for years. I was on the level 4 with him. So when I got to the level 4, well, I'm sorry, I was there already way before him, but he got there and he arrived from one of these yards over here, and they tried to take his life. The behavior that he was doing over here, I'm sure that he did something. I heard the stories over there. I heard he disrespected some dudes, but I think it was a little more than that because of the way he was behaving. I heard he was fighting a lot of dudes, and over there they're gonna warn you. You're lucky if you get more than one warning, honestly. So somebody with his mental capacity, I could see, got a couple warnings probably, and then they just said, all right, well, you're dead. And I saw the stab holes in that guy because I was over in a class with him behind the wall, and so we had to go through ward change and they strip you out. So when he took his shirt off, that's the first time that I've seen all the holes. And I'm telling you, it looked like he had at least 50 holes all over his back and shoulders, everywhere. And then I was like, it looked like they hit him with an ice pick. So then I was like, man, that looks pretty bad. Benny, is that where they got you at? He's like, yeah. He goes, man, they got me right here and right here. And then he lifted his arms and they hit him with something big, man. Like, that was those were kill shots. They hit him underneath his underarm pit, one by his lung and one by his heart. And he had big old scars right there. So they tried to take his wind. And when I seen that, I was like, oh man, like, that's like a textbook killing. I don't know how the hell that dude survived. You know, and I think maybe possibly maybe he lost too much oxygen or he was out too long, because those are shots right there where they have to bring you back, you know. But it had to have missed his heart. But it was just one. It was right in that spot right there, and it was big. So I thought, you know, I was thinking, well, they freaking, whoever did that, you know, they were serious. So when Benny got to Calipatria, the level 4 yard, he had that real cool look, but he got into a fight right there kind of quick. And the dude that he fought was a big-ass dude. So one thing we know when a guy his size fights a dude that's pretty big, it's probably because the dude that...
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
And Benny got off on him.
Hold on.
We respected Benny for that.
It cut off. So the last thing that I heard was when somebody fights a dude that size, and then after that, the recording came on.
Let me call you back. It's 60 seconds came on.
Okay.
And so we can talk about this topic.
Okay. All right. For sure. All right. Cool. Thank you. All right. So, hey, I want to go ahead and thank everybody that's tuning in today. I really appreciate you guys. What's up, 90s YA baby? I'll go ahead and let them know that you're tapping in right now. Hey, what's up, chat? How's it going? Appreciate you guys, man. I know I've been gone. I've been missing in action, but I've been trying to play catch up with my family and whatnot. Going out and doing things with them. So that's why I haven't been on. But I plan to continue back, resume normal program, if you will. What's up, my life Peachy? How's it going? Hey, Fluffy, thank you for that daily heart. Highly appreciate that. What's up, Honda Man? Hey, what's up? How's it going? Thank you. Appreciate them likes. Let me see. When is this happen? This was maybe like, I want to say maybe like about 10 days ago. It hasn't been that long. Let me see. Family comes first. Say we understand. Gracias. Highly appreciate that. All right. The phone is ringing. Let's go and plug him back in.
Esta es Global
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David.
Yeehaw. Hey, thank you.
un
Who sent that over? Hey,
individuo
no face.
encarcelado
Gracias.
de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello, David.
Yeah. What's up?
All right. So I just wanted to let you know, we got a few people tapping in. We just got Maribel Vasquez tapped in. We got 90 YAs, baby. We got Chad. We got No Face. We got Honda Man. We got Smoggy Lantern, and a bunch of other individuals, that are tuning in. So, shout out to them. Appreciate you guys.
Now we send our love, man. We send our love. Jesse's like, who's that? From it's the homie, 90s white baby. He said, that's right. He'll be with us right now. Now we have a lot of stuff going on right now. Came up from yard. We got Jesse hooked up some ramen burritos and shit. But I gotta tell him, man, hey, it's getting kind of live out there, Jesse. You're gonna need to hear your voice. Proof of life. I could try to act like him if possible. I'll be like, hey, what's up, man? We're Jesse now. We're here, just tuning in, seeing how everybody's doing. I tell this fool he's the only freaking troller that talks like he's from Oklahoma. Hey, what's up, Holmes? He's gonna tap in right now, but so anyway, so this dude, right? So Benny gets into it with a big ass dude, right? He's got size on him. So to say when somebody small goes at it with somebody big, it's usually because somebody big try to punch somebody small. It's just 1 + 1 = 2 usually in here. And they were cellies, so it seemed all on the up and up. If you see a fight between cellies, but it happens out in the day room, it's usually because there's a conflict in the cell, and the little guy don't want to get freaking bear hugged to death in the cell, so he just gets off outside of the cell, And that's what Benny did. I talked to him. He seemed like he was cool, but as time progressed, I started to see that he was falling a couple shades past the windowsill, You know what I'm saying? Like there was something kind of missing in his eyes.
The lights were on, but nobody was home.
Well, somebody was home, but they were definitely talking from the back room, Jesse. Because I can.
Somebody was home. They just weren't answering the phone.
They weren't answering the phone, but they were definitely home. I seen the little what do you call it? The little light. The peephole was moving here and there. But so anyway, so Benny ends up getting transferred to level 3. He comes over here. He's got he looks like Bobby's World. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen that Bobby's World?
Like the cartoon or the creator?
Like. Yep. No, like the cartoon. He looks like the cartoon. A little skinny body, big old head. They kind of look the same too. If Benny was a cartoon, he'd be Bobby from Bobby's World. That's just how he looks. Insignificant dude, cool as hell, but not somebody that He's not somebody that you worry about guns blazing. So I get here, and he's getting in all kinds of fights. He kind of walks weird too. He kind of walks like he's from the 1950s, an old 1950s cholo. He keeps his arms out. He got his arms out to the side when he walks. He kind of rocks on the upper body. His legs are kind of like bent a little bit like a cricket. And that's just how he cruises, you know. So Benny, we started seeing these kites showing up all over the yard. They were like, I walked the chow, and they were like dropped like leaflets on the yard. And they were saying some foul shit about people. They were like, this fool's gay, and he did this and this, and it was like a full-blown letter. And they were just like written in, they looked like the letter a kidnapper was sent for ransom.
There were letters posted in there, cut out of the newspaper.
They were, yeah, they were super weird. And I gotta tell you, yeah, I swear to God, hey, I gotta tell you, James, that was a first for me. I've never seen. I've heard the stories about the kites getting dropped. You know, one was dropped on me, but I've never seen the leaflets, the ransom leaflets on the yard, and they were going hard. They were going hard on these fools. And so Benny was like, we don't know who was doing it. We didn't know who was doing it, right? And I walked by and I seen one going to breakfast, and it was on the little path that we take to breakfast. And it was like, I read like the first 3 or 4 lines, and it was about some fool right here named Fly. And Fly's hella cool. And I was like, oh, Fly's going to be pissed. He was talking shit on that kite. And so anyway, the same thing started happening to Silas. And so it was just progressing, man. And little Benny, man, what we believe happened is we believe that there was individuals that pumped him up. Because Silas is a Mac rep on the yard. He's got movement. He's in a position of, he's in a position a lot of people envy. He's gonna bear the weight of the yard on his shoulders. And that's why Mac reps, especially, and, this is a non-designated program facility, those jobs are kind of,
they're loveless jobs. The population feels you're not doing enough.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Yeah, no, that's what he was saying. The population, they'll love you.
You're doing enough, and the cops, you're doing too much.
Hey, if you get one win as a Mac rep, like, you're the freaking hero, man. Like, them dudes, man, they'll cook food for you. You'll be like everybody's best friend. But that's for one single victory, and it'll be a stupid victory too, like extra 15 minutes of yard, something like that. They'll run packages on an extra day, or they'll have a meeting or something, or something crazy. And the rest of it, you're going to get shut down. You're going to get bullshitted. You're going to get shut down. You're going to be fed misinformation. And I think their hearts are in the right place. Like, the people that are talking to the Mac reps, the officers and shit, like, they want to help you. But they just get shut down every which way, man. And the whole yard will turn on a Mac rep so fast, it's insane. MAC stands for Men's Advisory Council, or Inmate Advisory Council, IAC. Yeah, that's what that is. So Silas is the main one on the yard. So anyway, that's how it all happens, man. We think some dudes were pumping up little old Benny, who was already having mental health issues. He had no privileges because he got into so many fights and dumb 115s. Then they were probably giving Benny drugs because he looked like he was on drugs. And, that's what happened, man. Benny went and tried to freaking hit Silas in the throat.
James, what's cracking, James?
What up, Jesse?
What's happening?
You done with that bird bath?
How you guys doing? Yeah, I'm feeling so fresh and so clean right now. Went out to the yard. I had to played some handball. Got a nice little sweat in. Came back in. Took a bird bath. Did some laundry. Now I got the burritos on the grill. And we just right here posted up with you guys. What's going on? How you been?
Man, I've been good. Just moving and grooving out. Out here. We these last 2 weekends we've been out in LA. Doing some outside activities. Getting circulating that blood and putting in them miles on them shoes.
Okay. That's right. Did you see anything in particular out there in LA?
Man.
Yeah, he went to Paso. I know the streets.
Well, on the way back, we stopped by, to grab some food. But you know,
Yeah,
man,
he ate a burger in Bassett.
yeah, not a burger, a steak sandwich. Man, it was probably one of the the best steak sandwiches I've ever eaten in my life. But man, out
Was
in
it
LA,
a shit steak?
man, that thing, that that
Go ahead,
that,
go
that
ahead.
steak sandwich, the meat was just coming off the
What do they call
sides.
them? Do they call them do they call them shanks? Shank steaks? What does that have to do with steaks? Shanks?
I'm not
Meat
sure.
shanks? Is that what it is? It's a meat shank. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey, so man, you know what I did see a lot of in LA, and it's been like that. It's been like that. It's been like that for a while. Man, there's a lot of people living on the street on tents, on the sidewalk, and it's just all over the place. Like every street corner, in front of buildings, in front of businesses, in front of gasoline stations. It just seems like every time I go back, it just seems like like the problem's getting a lot worse, and there's a lot more people out there living out of tents and on the streets. So that's one of the things that did stick out to me. While we're out there, and then my daughter, she notices. She's 6 years old, and she's like, "Man," she's like, "Papa, LA's dirty," or like, "Hey, Papa, why is that? Why is that people sleeping on the street?" Things like that. So when your daughter's noticing it, and she's 6 years old, then it's something that the city can't hide, and it's in your face.
Yep. Not a good look. Not a good look.
Mm-mm.
No,
No.
and it's crazy because that's a big thing. It's not just LA though. That's like something. That's an epidemic going on everywhere.
Yep.
It's the homeless crisis is crazy. It's a social issue. I mean, I know everybody has different views on it. Me personally, I feel that a lot of times people make that choice, and then there are a lot of people who don't. But it's just a horrible thing. They got to do something about it.
I think they're super bougie now, though. That's the thing, like, I remember the classic, we got to call them unhoused now, Jesse.
Oh, the unhoused, you got to be PC.
Yeah, you got to be, politically correct. So I remember when unhoused people, lived in the standard bushes, slept on the side of the road, like, here and there, like.
Kept their backpack strapped to their back.
Yep,
park bench. Their sleeping bags strapped to their back.
Park bench sleepers,
the good old fingers cut off the glove look.
Yep, shopping cart look,
shopping cart, trash bags wrapped around the feet inside some old freaking Reebok pumps with the blown out pump.
Spent their days recycling, Jesse.
Yeah. Spent their days sifting through dumpsters, picking up cans. Now they're just out there on the side of the road, the fence all out. Yeah, big old tents. Just blitz on the side of the road. Got them a harem right there inside the tent.
Yeah.
It's one hobo and like 3 females. Like, damn.
Whatever happened to the bottle of pee? And they're just going right there on the curb.
Whatever happened to having a little decency, pissing in a bottle and throwing it away? These guys are just going right there on the curb now.
Just rolling on over and just letting it out.
Man, I don't know what. Just basically just like, man.
Yeah, there's some people, like I said, some people are just unfortunate. But there's other people that their addictions got the better of them, and they're just out there doing what they do. And then there's people who are just lazy. Like, that's just the reality of it. They don't have no drive. They're hopeless. They're lost. And so they're just doing what they do. But at the end of the day, it's.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I mean, the property value's down everywhere. It's having its effect on all the major cities for certain.
I met a madman that was, he was super cool. He was a homeless dude. I used to see him in Chino all the time. His name was Dan Warner. And Dan Warner was an older white dude, lost his eye somewhere, probably like some homeless knife fight. Dan Warner was freaking, he loved being homeless, James. Like, this dude, unhoused, he's like, he'd be in Chino and he'd just be waiting to get back out there. And he told me, he talked like a surfer too. He's like, Dave, he goes, man, I just can't wait to get out back there on the streets. And I just go and I get me a cool little jacket. I could go home. Well, my mom will let me go home, but I love the streets, man. Like, all right, Dan Warner. That's just the thing. There's people that's their social circle, that's their community, that's their normal. And I feel bad for like the families that go down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel bad for the people that lose their jobs in like a Madoff scandal, lose everything. Just out there trying to get it right, the ones that hurt me the most too is we watched some video recently, James, there was an older dude, he was an old tweaker dude, but he was a good dad. Remember, he was a dad to they were living in a tent, he had the daughter and the son, and he had them like he had them digging into the dumpster with them, and they had like a little happy family going. We watched it in. You weren't in political science with us?
No.
Oh man, like this dude was like, he was super good dad. Took care of them, like went in like all day long. All he did was hunted and gathered for food for his kids. You know what I mean? Yeah, this dude was. They ended up taking him, obviously. Yeah. There's no way that's gonna fly.
No,
but they let it go off for like a cool hour documentary. It was at least 3 nights.
At least 3 nights in the bushes.
I was thinking, man, you would think like, even for the sake of the documentary, like the world is watching you have your kids sift through a dumpster with needles everywhere and freaking. Oh, no. Yeah, it was bad.
They're like, hey, Dad, can we drop this needle at the recycling center?
Sell some plastic, Dad, and some metal.
Hey, so anyways, what's up though, James? What's going on, man? So you went down to LA, had a little vacation, seen Tent City down there in LA, came back. How's everything else been going, man? How's your life going? How's the channel going? What you been up to?
Man,
I haven't heard from you in a while, so we didn't know if you was all right.
Nah, so I really have maybe for like, well, you know what? Ever since I came back from Salvador, I kind of slowed down on the going on the lives and whatnot. But other than that, I mean, personal life, everything's going good. My
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
My daughter's back from college, so we that's what we've been out, doing a lot of, going out and about, because a lot of the times we, during the school year, we really don't do that much. So right now that she's back and we got the little one, so we're trying to maximize the time before she she heads out again. So I can't complain.
What is she on summer break?
Yeah, she's on summer break. Yep.
This is gonna cut off right now.
Yeah. Hey,
We'll call back right now.
It's about to cut off right now, but let me read this message from Jeanette right here. She wants me to tell you guys. Can you please tell David and Jesse stay strong, and give him love. Oh, and give love to Silas.
I will, Jeanette.
Yeah,
I will.
Sir,
Thank you.
Thank you for the salud.
Yep, we got him.
All right. Hey, what's up, Simona? Hey, I can't complain. Everything's good. Thanks for asking, Simona. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Let me see. Country Boy, Caden, what happened to your other account, brother? It's still there. I got it. I'm streaming both of them right now. I'm streaming on the big one and the little one. Let me see right here. No Face, did you see those prison in El Salvador? Man, no Face, I have not. I went ahead and requested to have access. I haven't heard anything back, and to be quite honest with you, I'm not holding my breath. If something comes about it, then we'll make it happen. I'll fly down there. If not, then hey, I'm not losing any sleep over it. Let me see here. Let me plug it back in.
This call is now being recorded.
New camera?
Una llamada
The same one.
David Lopez.
What up, bro? I watch you from 6
Un
a.m.
individuo
to Friday.
encarcelado en de la prisión
CRB1K.
estatal de Centinela, Centinela, California.
Yeah.
Esta llamada
Hold on,
y
talk
su
to who?
número de teléfono
Talk to
será
David and
controlada
Jesse?
y grabada. You have a prepaid
this
call. You will
show.
not be charged for this
I would
call.
love to see
Para
you do an
aceptar
interview
esta
with,
llamada,
Wine and
diga o
Man.
oprima ahora el 5.
Cinco. Hey, thank you. Highly
Gracias por
appreciate
utilizar
that.
Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Yep, that's a cool message from Jeanette right there. It's cool, man. We appreciate that a lot. We always feel that love. It's rough in here, like honestly. Sometimes I could use just a good hug. Scary, James.
Yeah.
This is a scary place, man. Yeah, but I can't get a hug from Jesse no more. He's been down too long.
Been down too long.
I don't think he knows the difference anymore.
His hugs always turn into something else.
Yeah. He's a tight hugger, that's all I'll say.
Gotta beat him off with the water hose.
Hey.
Hey, you know what?
Anyway.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you guys a question. So, on this weekend that I was out there, I stopped by the local juvenile hall, Central Juvenile Hall, right there off of off of like Soto and Cesar Chavez, and I made like a quick little maybe 2 videos, recounting like some stuff that I experienced or I saw while I was there back in the in the mid 90s or to early in the mid 90s, and I was talking about how. And I think I've shared this story with you guys before, where there was this kid named Boxer that had scratched the floor up, and the staff seen it. They seen the writing on the floor. So they asked around, and somebody ended up informing on Boxer's identity. So the staff went to get him, and they pulled him into the control room, and they were asking him, they're like, hey, like did you do this? And that dude, he was denying it, and then I'm not sure if he ended up admitting it, but what I do remember is that they ended up pulling his pants down, and they ended up pepper spraying him all over the lower region, in the family jewels and the anus area. And the dude was he was in pain. I've been pepper sprayed in my eyes before, and I can't imagine what it would be like.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
If you intentionally get sprayed in that region, and then they ended up taking him to the box. So I ended up posting up a video recounting that event, and so far I got in a fair amount of views, about 5,000 views in the last 24 hours since I posted it up. And some comments were good, some comments were negative, and then and I was expecting this, the comment that I'm about to read off to you guys. And somebody put something like, because in the video I put like, if for anybody that's wondering, I didn't tell, like I didn't report the staff member. And one of the reasons that I didn't.
Oh, I thought you were. Yeah. Go ahead.
One of the reasons that I didn't tell on the staff member would be because, first of all, there's no way in hell I was gonna be able to tell another staff member tell one staff member what another staff member was doing, especially in that unit. Second of all, that's not something that I was gonna tell my mom. Like, hey, mom, like I was going to give her a call and tell her, like, hey, what's happening. First of all, they listened to those conversations. Second of all, I don't even think my mom would even know how to process that. And then third of all, like, I don't need my mom worrying more about me than she already was. I'm pretty sure people were telling her, like, making up all kind of assumptions, the type of activities that were happening in those type of places. So I put the video up, and then, like I said, like some of the comments were positive and some of them are negative. And then I got a comment saying that I was telling. So as far as me, like, I don't see that as telling. I'm just, recounting something that happened before. And if you really think about, like, the whole situation is like, we have these adults, in charge of children. And if they're doing these type of things to children, they're not doing their job. They were abusing us. They were doing, like, unspeakable things to us. And for somebody to say that that's telling, like, their whole sense of what telling is definitely warped, because I don't see that as telling.
Oh, it's super. It's super warped. What happened? So, because he was talking about that, when he was in Central Juvenile Hall, one of the staff, some fool rolled on the ground, carved into the ground, scratched the ground, and somebody ended up revealing who said it. Somebody told on him.
On James?
No, on the kid who tagged up on the ground. Yeah. And staff members took that kid in there, and he fucking pulled his pants down. Well, they questioned for a little bit. Pulled his pants down and pepper sprayed his balls. You know what I mean? Can I even say balls in this? I don't know. So anyway, yeah. Pepper sprayed him on his.
Yeah.
Hey, pepper sprayed his nether regions.
Yeah.
So then, I think the fact that James was even talking about it, some freaking protector of weirdos who hurt children called James basically a snitch, right? Because he's telling about the incident.
Oh, about the time that it happened?
Yeah. Just telling, like, oh, man, you dry snitching, James. This is the thing, man. This shit's ridiculous. Like, this, you're going to protect somebody who hurts children. Like, come on, really?
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
That's freaking weird. Oh, man, hey.
Probably one of them old closet files.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Hey, oh, man, that dude's touching on his nephew right there. You know what I mean? Oh, I ain't going to tell her. I ain't no snitch.
Yeah, I ain't no snitch. I ain't about to tell nobody been beating on my nephew and touching his balls.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, what is this? What the hell's going on out there right now? And this concept of telling, this concept of snitching, and you do something wrong in this society, somebody's going to call the cops on you. That's just what it is. I'm
gonna call the cops on you.
Yeah, that's just what it is.
Do something wrong in my
house. I know. What loyalty do people think is going on out there in this game, this quote unquote game? There ain't no freaking loyalty in that game. All them dudes are working with the feds or doing this and that, like, and if you ain't doing nothing. I'm trying to offer you no deal with no freaking low level scumbag. These dudes are freaking killing each other, taking their bras. They're doing, man, it's just foul. And you worried about someone telling, like, James because he's revealing something that happened that was horrible to his kids. Insanity.
Not only that, this is something that happened like almost 30 years ago. So I mean, shit.
When you were in the house.
Yeah. This is.
Yeah, but James, James, there's no statute of limitations on telling.
There ain't no statute on snitching, James.
There ain't no statute of limitations right there. You know what I mean? Yeah, you telling, James. Oh man, you telling. We can't be on this channel no more. James is telling. Man, well, you out there, you snitching on the snitch.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, who said that? It was one of your listeners?
No. So I had put the video up. I put up it was like a maybe like a 4-minute clip, and then some of the comments that were put on there, and it wasn't that many. I think it was only maybe like 1 or 2 that said that I was telling, and then I had another individual was like, man, like I got caught tagging, and the staff slapped, they slapped me, or some people were like, damn, that's horrible,
I thought they were gonna say you told you. I thought they were gonna say you told all the kids.
I'm not surprised.
You his identity for like one of them.
Hey,
milk snack.
That might be.
It's all about the milk snack.
That might be coming next, and be like, hey, James, it was you that told. But because hey, you know what? Because like the way I say the story is like, why is James inside the control room with the probation officer seeing all of this? So in back then the staffs didn't care. We were I think they called those messengers. The ones that had like the extra privileges or whatever. And they had a bunch of us in there. They had, I think it was all the messengers in there. I think it was like 6 of us, and they had all of us, right there witnessing this. So I'm like, shit.
That's a hella suspect name.
Yeah, the plot thickens. The plot thickens. Shit. I knew there was another side to this story.
Jesse looked at each other right now like, oh, he's a messenger, huh?
Oh, he was a messenger. Oh, no
wonder. Privileges.
Yeah. And a bag of milk snacks.
Yeah. Oh, hey, he's a snitching. Yeah. Hey, you was right up there.
Yeah, what the hell? I don't know who that listener was, but he must have been there with the messengers. Yeah. What is that? So, what is that, like a trustee or something?
Yeah, it was the trustees. That's what they called us. Yeah, that's what they used to call us. And I think that's what it was. I think they called us messengers. I know in county it was trustees, and I think in the house it was messengers.
We got like Ricardo M. We had in our county it was called Ricardo M. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that RM stands for, but it was RM, Ricardo M.
Everybody called it Ricardo M.
So Ricardo M was in LA, in the LA probation system. It was when you were doing under 90 days. That was Ricardo M time.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think in ours too. That you got sentenced to juvenile hall. You were getting out on a specific date, and it was RM time. It was short time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got no action to that. They sent me to freaking weird ass places. I went to a boot camp. I went to boys' homes. I went to all kinds of shit.
I never got no RM time.
I don't know.
I remember Shane, when Shane got out of YA, he wasn't 18 yet, and we got busted, and they kept him in juvenile hall until he turned 18, and he was on RM, but he was on freaking youth authority parole. No, but he was maxed out. They couldn't do nothing to him, but it was weird. He was on parole in juvenile hall, and he stayed till he was 18. They kicked him out.
That's how little man was. Josh, but he's not from YA, but he was doing RM time right there. Yeah, but yeah, that's crazy. That's just nuts, man. Look.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Beto, you got back from El Salvador. You said you haven't been coming on much, huh?
Yeah, no, I haven't. I haven't really been coming on. It's been sporadic. When I have been coming on. I've been, with work and family life, and then, trying to, keep these, these videos going. I've been doing it for the last 2 years. So, sometimes it gets a bit overwhelming, and, this time that I've taken off, it's been really nice not, having to, get on these phone calls or do these videos. Yeah. So, relaxation is definitely nice.
Now in like 2 weeks, you gonna be here for him?
Yeah, you know it, man. I already told my lady. I was like, hey, on this date, I'm out. I'm gonna be down there in San Diego. So for those of you that are tuning in, we're actually gonna be doing a live. Well, I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna make sure Pablo is cool with me doing it live. If he is, then we're gonna be reporting to you live and direct from Centinela State Prison. And I think I mentioned it to you guys. So yeah, I would like to do it the way we did with Jeremiah, where you guys call in before he gets released, and then you guys could ask him questions. How does it feel, or whatever's coming to your mind. When he jumps off that bus.
Yep. And then Ricky Black's right behind him.
Man, I got it. I got two.
Yeah, Ricky Black.
I got 2 air flight tickets. Reserve. I got one for Ricky, and then I got one for Pablo.
Yep, that's it. It's gonna be a busy year. Shit, Gary's getting out. Freaking Silas is getting out. Who else is getting? Oh, Sugar Bear's gonna be getting out.
Yep. There's a lot of people going home now. We had a dry spell for a little bit, you know what I mean? But these dudes are gone.
They're gonna be tapping out of here.
Yep.
People gonna be dipping up out of here.
All
I'm waiting right now. My case is under review right now, James. So I'm just waiting for my date.
Oh, to go in front of the parole board?
Hey, you know what I was thinking too?
Yep. Just waiting for them to reschedule me for my new date.
My resentencing too, James, is kind of got a little momentum right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I had spoken to my attorney, so she said if you wanted to be a part of that in any way, you got to email her.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And also for like any support and stuff like that. Yeah, she told me to give you guys the email. I got to give it to you. I got to give it to Fishlayer, and she wants to get to know you guys and see what it. She wants to talk about what you want for your involvement to be in the resentencing. She's trying to get me to go down there to the county, and I ain't trying to do all that, James. To be honest with you.
Tell her put me
some thought to it.
Tell her put me up in the stand. I've been practicing, with telling all these juvenile hall stories. So hey, just tell her to put me up on the stand, and I'm good to go.
He's been practicing his messenger skills. He's been practicing his messenger gig now.
The thing is, so they're doing a Racial Justice Act also on me. It kind of has me in like, I'm a little conflicted, with this whole thing. And the problem is okay, so with me, right, I take responsibility for what I did. Like, I did it. It's what it is. I'm here, for those of you that don't know, I'm here because somebody lost their life, and I'm the one I'm responsible for that.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
The issue that I have and that a lot of people have is that, okay, well, the circumstances that transpired, would I have been charged differently if I didn't look the way I do? And that's a big debate right now that's going on. I got found guilty of second degree, 187. And the difference is, if I would have walked in there, blazing blue eyes, blonde hair, would I have been charged with manslaughter? Would I have been, would it have been a self-defense thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are things that are just crazy. Well, I'm going to call back right now.
All right. So right now, I'll go ahead and read off your messages right now when they call back. And just for the record, I was kidding about getting on the witness stand. Some of you guys might be taking that seriously. You guys might be screw recording me. But I was just joking. Let me see. The user. Let me see. Right. At least he understands he did wrong, and is remorseful. Hey, what's up, NorCal 1984? How are you doing today? Giggles. Thank you. Highly appreciate that daily heart. Silas is getting out. Silas is going to the parole board this month. He's going to this month. I'm not sure exactly what date. I know it's towards the ends of the month. So he might have some action. So I'm pretty sure he'll, as soon as he finds out, when he goes in front of the parole board, if he is found suitable, then he'll share that with us. So sometime this month, expect some calls from Silas. So, and I'll keep you guys updated. Matthew writes, praying for Silas. That's right. Let's see. Let me.
Esta es Global
This
Telling.
call is now being
Usted tiene
recorded.
una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada,
5.
gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Yep.
All right. So let me read out some of these messages for you guys right here. So we got another message from Jeanette. She writes, David and Jesse, I hope it's not long before you both get out. And she believes that you'll get it.
Cool, thank you.
And let me see here. And then user wrote, at least he understands that he did wrong and is remorseful.
No, that's cool, and that's it's true. Like it's a sobering thing to wake up and know that you're responsible for doing something like that. You know, for the death of another human being. We mask it with doing drugs. We mask it with being involved with gangs and violence. But at the end of the day, you know, I do take responsibility for what I did. There's no way around that. No matter how they spin it or do whatever, you know, it's horrible to think about. But yeah, thank you all for your comment. What else you got for us, James?
And then let me see, CBR 1K wrote, I hope he has a lot of remorse and offers things he has done to change and other things he has done to change. And then let me see.
Makes sense.
Let me see. Let me read it back again. I say, I hope he has a lot of remorse and other things he has done to change.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I get it.
All right.
Both of us, you know, Jesse and I, we're here for similar circumstances. Well, you know, same charge, but different people. You know, our entire life is dedicated to giving back to our community and to others as a way of making amends. But nothing that either of us can do can ever atone for what we did. That's a lifetime thing right there, and we understand that. It's not like, well, okay, well, I've done this amount of time, you know, all is forgiven, all is well. I've done this many programs, I've done this, you know, educated myself in these ways, and it's all good now. You know, it don't work like that. At the end of the day, no matter what I accomplish in here, no matter how many people that I affect in a positive way, nothing is ever going to change the fact that what happened was wrong. You know, it's not gonna. You can't atone for that. It's just that's a lifelong endeavor. What else you got, James?
Let me see. So I think it's Yenny. I want to say, she wrote he does, and he's changed his life around.
That's cool. What'd you say, Yenny?
I believe it's Yenny. I think that I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her pop up in a while, and I think, I think that's her name.
That's cool, Yenny. I appreciate you having my back. And in case James spent a little time in El Salvador, if it is Jenny. In El Salvador turns Jenny into Jenny. Yeah. That's cool, man. My boy's accent, you know, it's on right now.
Hey, what up, Ryder? We got Ryder type in. Let me see. Ali Marie writes, I love his laugh. Ha ha ha. And then she wrote, it is Yenny. It's what a Y. Or Yarny. Oh, no, it's not Yenny. It's Yarny. I knew it was something with a Y. I couldn't.
Yarny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, Yarny. Hey, our back, Yarny, still. Same applies. Thanks for having our back right here. Representing. My apologies for my friend James. He's a little tipsy after the club. No. No, hey,
now we know what he's been doing in the time that he hasn't been on the air.
Yeah, sipping grandpa's medicine,
cough syrup. Yeah.
Let me see. We got a comment. I got a comment from 90s white baby. Let me try to make it bigger so I can see it over here. Let me see here.
Yep.
Pop up the chat here, and he wrote. Hold on, it hasn't. Okay, so he wrote. Let me see. I'm off Suboxone 3 weeks, no alcohol either, and let me see, alcohol either. You guys are a great inspiration and definitely step 2.
That's right. Now we appreciate you. Yep, and especially coming from him, because you know, we know who he is, we know his journey, and so it means a lot to us that we can inspire anybody, because that's what it's all about, really.
And that's what we set out to do when we started this channel originally, just to share our experience and our stories, have some connectivity with people, so that way they got something to connect to. And when he's making a reference to step two is, you know, that we learn that change is possible through suggestions from those who trudged the path of recovery before us. Yep. And so it's as he knows, and anybody who's ever gotten off of Suboxone, I was on it for 2 years and I got off, and kicking that stuff is worse than kicking dope sometimes. Kicking carga, kicking heroin, anything, you know. So to get off of that stuff, because it sticks to your neuroreceptors a lot stronger than actual, you know, narcotics, because it's a synthetic, so it's actually meant to connect to your brain harder.
And the funny part is 3 weeks, he's still in the thick of it.
Yeah.
He's probably can't sleep right now.
Yeah.
Probably tossing and turning all night.
Yep.
Yeah, that shit, man.
He should be on the downslope already.
Yeah, 3 weeks is
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Everybody I know that's got off of it, thank God I didn't get on it, man. Because I would have too. But
it takes that stuff that it's weird, because it's like the state's putting everybody on it because they want everybody to be prendido. They want everybody on that stuff. You know, and there are people who need it, definitely, but they're giving it to young kids, little tweakers who never even messed with opioids, and Suboxone is for people who struggle with opioid addiction. So they shouldn't be giving it to just some kid who came in off the streets that's looking for a free high. They should make sure that man actually has some sort of opioid crisis in his life. But, yeah, so they're just handing it out like candy in here, and it ends up becoming part of the problem. You know, and of course they got some way of spinning it, you know, but even the people, the drug counselors who are here in prison, the ones that run the ISCDT programs, even they disagree the way medical's handing out Suboxone, because they know that it's not being handed out properly, and it's not being given with the proper counseling necessary, you know. So,
you know, they called me in. They called me in over here. Was he here? No, I think they called me at Calipat, and they offered it to me. They were like, you have a history of drug use, and you have a dirty drug test in prison. And I was like, yeah, but did you guys even look? I was a tweaker. Like, my dirty drug test was for use of, you know, of that Go Fast. My drug-related cases were all Go Fast related. So why would you offer a tweaker a downer like that? That ain't gonna. That's the total opposite right there. I said, thank God that I'm sober. I'm sober enough to tell you guys to go pound salt, go pound sand.
Yeah.
But I said that doesn't. So what do you guys want me to do? You guys want me to get addicted to something completely different than what?
Yeah. Than the one I've already kicked and gotten rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely want to let the homie know that I'm proud of him, man, and it's no easy feature. You know, one day at a time. That's all it is. I know, especially where you're at, and indeed, you know, in certain environments, you know, it becomes a little harder just because it's, you know, there's a constant, you know, but just keep doing what you're doing, and understand that that everybody's got action. There's no reason for anybody to die in this place. You know, it was hard for me to come to that realization, and Dave or anybody else in here, but I've been watching people go home by the busload, you know what I mean? So it's crazy, you know. And getting out of prison is the hard part. I mean, it's the easy part. Staying out is the hard part. So that's why we got to do what we got to do in here to make sure we prepare ourselves for success out there.
Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on, you know. And so for those of you guys that are out there struggling with you know, with your stuff, don't worry about it. You know, that if we can do it in here, you know, people can get it done out there.
And a little bit, a little bit off topic here. We got a question from Karina. She writes hello, and then she also asks, ask him if he knows Diego Little Danger from Baldwin. I think he was in Calipat.
No.
Nah, right. Nope, they don't.
Well, I know, yeah, but I know he doesn't. I knew a Danger there though, but he that wasn't his name though. And he was little too.
Little Daddy.
No, that's little Jerry. Jerry, that's what they call him. He's small too. All the Dangers are small. Nope.
If she's looking for her man Danger, he's not here. Danger's not home. Nope.
Let me see. We got another.
The crazy part is that.
Go ahead. Now you got it. I'll read out the comment after you're done.
Those are common names in the system. So if they're not really in my social circle, the yard is a big place. there's a lot of people on these damn yards. So if they're not somebody that I interact with, I see strangers out there all the time. It's like, damn, I've been on this yard for, almost 2 years already. I've been in the system I'm going on 15 years, and I still see strangers all the time out there. I'm like, damn, how long has this fool been here? The funny part is that I'll say that about people, and Jesse's like, dude, you've been around this guy. He'll be like, I've seen you talk to this guy many times. I don't know who the hell that is. Yeah, but go ahead. What's the comment you got for us?
Let me see. It was from Allie, and she wrote. Let me see. I feel like I've been struggling a lot recently, so thank you for those words.
That's cool. Yeah, and you know what? If we can help at all, inspire, do anything, just come over here and just shoot the shit with us, laugh with us. That's what it's all about. We're lifers, Jesse and I. We're both sentenced to die in prison. That's just what it is. We have opportunities to go home because of new laws, but for us, we're just tired of being who we were before. I don't want to be the same person that I was, my entire youth. I found out who I am, and today I love myself.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
That's why I can be happy. I can laugh, I can joke, and it's like I can heal. And unfortunately, this is the place where I have to do all that from. But I love coming on here, spending time with you guys. There's people that are here from all over the country, people that got our back, regular listeners, 90s White Baby. We got the boys on here, and it's a community. You guys are a part of this journey with us, whether you know it or not. So,
what was the comment?
Just that she felt better. Can you say the comment again, James?
She wrote, Allie Marie. She wrote, I feel like I've been struggling a lot recently, so thank you for those words.
Yeah. Yep. And that's cool.
We're able to help you and help you find a little comfort and peace, and just know that that's what we're here for.
Well.
And then let me see, Jeanette.
Us,
we got Jeanette. She wrote, "You better stay out when you get out. Parole or else."
Faux show. The crazy part is like you can't. We can't go back though. I've never done well in prison. It's like there's a lot of people that come into prison, and all of a sudden they're just Mr. Goody Two Shoes, and they forgot who they were. And the thing is, for us, Jesse and I, prison was our home. We didn't come in here thinking, oh well, we're incarcerated and what was me and gnashing of teeth, hit the cup on the bars. That wasn't us when we came in here. I grew up in the system. Jesse grew up in the system. So we came in to prison doing the same things we were doing out on the streets. Gangbanging, politicking, selling drugs, hurting people. That was our normal in here. And our humanity was carved away. It was gone at one point. So our walk is genuine today. There's no drug that they can put in front of us, none that will cause us to relapse. There's nothing, situations that cause us to be violent. Those are done. We're just two regular dudes, just cruising along the system, just waiting to go home. And if we don't, we don't. It doesn't mean that that's going to be a recipe for disaster. It's going to hurt, of course.
We're not doing what we're doing simply to get out of prison.
Yeah.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Getting out of prison is a byproduct of the life we live and the people we are today. But even if we weren't getting out of prison, this is who we'd be. I'm freer today than I've ever been in my life because I'm no longer imprisoned by my own craziness.
And I was deep in my ignorance. I'm no longer ignorant. I believed in the stuff I was doing.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the crazy part.
And I don't knock people that are doing it. I understand what it is. Like I got a lot of good motherfuckers that are there, and it's like, damn, if there would just be some way that I could open up their eyes, and it's nothing against what they're doing.
He's going to hang up right now. We're going to give you a call back right now.
All right, for sure. All right, so for those of you that are just tuning in right now, we have Jesse and David that are calling in from Centinela State Prison. They are cellies, so that's how they're able to speak at the same time. They have a tablet, and that's how we're communicating. These tablets are given to them by the state of California, So they should be calling us back in the next few moments. These calls only last for 15 minutes and they're automatically cut off. I'm not complaining. It's all good because, these cars, ultimately they're free, which is, I highly appreciate that. So they'll call back right now. Let me see. How old are David and Jesse? I want to say they're like at least in their 40s. I want to say like 43, 42 in that region. Let me see. Hey, that's Hey, that's good. That's what my son said. I think they know him. All right. Let me see. All right. So the phone is ringing. Let me pick it up.
Esta es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
Un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
James. Yes, sir. Yeah, so anyway, what we're trying to say is, the famous term, you can't unsuck a dick. Once you know, you know. There's no going, I hate to be so blunt about it, but you can't undo this type of knowledge. I'm too smart now to be stupid.
No.
I'm too aware. I don't want to say it. I'm woke. I've been, but don't, not the woke movement kind of thing, but look, I've been awakened.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
You have too well of an understanding of who you used to be, why you used to be that person, to ever want to be that person again. It's like I tell Dave all the time, like every once in a while, just like it just blows me away. I tell him like, man, fool, I'm going to be 45 in 2 months. And Dave, he's going to be 44 this year. And I'm like, fool, we've seen some chick on TV yesterday. She's 43 years old. She's a prime minister of New Zealand. And now she's a professor at Harvard. And we're listening to her talk, and we're just kind of tripping out on her. I'm telling Dave, like, man, fool, imagine what we could have done with our lives. Like, just think of the brain power, just think of the drive, just think of the motivation, the charisma, all the characteristics that we possess today. Imagine, and we've always possessed them, we just utilize them the wrong way. And we took the easy road and feigned ignorance for a long time, ignorance to the real world. And so it was like, just imagine where we would be today had we been doing. Look what we've done in the few years that we got our life together. Just imagine what we would have done with 44 years of pro-social activity.
We could have been the Prime Minister of New Zealand. Just
yeah, exactly. We could have been the freaking Prime Minister. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not just
we could have been Kiwis, Jesse.
Yeah, we could have been Kiwis. Like we think about the people that we interact with and the opportunities that have been presented to us. I have a great friend. She's a professor, and she's opened so many opportunities for me and Dave, and just exposed us to so many different things that, like, I never in no other life would have had the opportunity to be exposed to some of these things. And so it's a trip when I think about it. Like, just imagine how we could have capitalized on these opportunities in a different life. Where we'd be with ourselves today.
Yep. I'm thinking about being a writer, a professional writer out there.
A teacher. Dave could be a teacher,
yeah.
A professor, a writer.
Yep. I was thinking about it because, here we have the San Diego State University bachelor's program, and, Jesse and I were scheduled to start it. And I'm thinking, man, a bachelor's degree from San Diego State University. And I didn't realize that I was as book smart as I actually am. So now I'm thinking, man, I could go and get my master's. I could get a PhD. Because I met like some work that's hard, but not that I won't be defeated by any type of schoolwork or any academic work or anything like that. I just got to work harder at it to understand it. But I'm thinking, man, I could be a damn professor out there.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Hey, David, it just
no matter what I'm. Yeah.
Just imagine the type of leaflets they're gonna be dropping on you guys now in the yard now. The whole yarda is gonna be riddled with a bunch of little notes.
Yeah.
Right now we just get the hater whispers.
Yeah. They're gonna be like Dave, the professor who's been having sex with one of his male students.
Yeah.
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 The kites are sending like weird ass kites.
That's what
the one he was dropping on Silas was like away, and he wants to kill himself because everybody knows it. Just weird shit, like, bro, what the fuck?
No, that was insane, you know. But no, the crazy part, we're like J-Cat freaking bullfighters. Like, honestly, we can see J-Cats coming a mile away, and we just freaking like, ole! We just flip to the side, you know. Freaking, yeah, we're not messing with them J-Cats. Me, I try to befriend them. That's the thing, though. That's why everybody jokes though, because like Benny too. Like, I like Benny. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know that he was crazy like that. Like that, I thought he was harmless. You know, and in a lot of ways he is. He did what he did, but he didn't come out with no like. He didn't cut the locker and try to like take Silas's win or nothing. Everything he did, it seemed like it was like superficial. You know, like he came, and the crazy part is he's gonna get charged the same way. He's going to get charged because he did technically, like, get Silas in the throat. It wasn't deep or nothing like that, but that's not how the system sees it. That's an assault with a deadly weapon right there. He's going to shoot term and all that stuff. He's going to go to a yard. He's going to go to a yard, James, where them dudes are not going to play. He's going to go to a 180 level 4 for that. And he's going to probably not make it up there. You know, and that's the sad thing about this whole deal, you know. You seen what they did to Tory Lanez, right?
Oh yeah. It was all over. Everybody was making videos about him and what happened. There was all kinds of speculations, a lot of rumors, and I think a lot of people jumped the gun on that one. But yeah, I definitely did see some of those videos that were put out.
Yeah, but what people don't understand out there is that. Well, some of you guys do. You know, you guys know what time it is. But look, that's normal in here. That's standard. That's what this place is. It ain't. You don't need no conspiracy to get somebody whacked in prison. It's just what it is. Dudes get disrespected. Dudes feel some type of way, and dudes will try to kill you for it. That's just what it is. There's nothing else to it. Happens non-stop up and down the system. People are dying in here. You never underestimate anybody in the system. That dude went in there. He was trying to play gangster. He was in a soft-ass yard, especially that yard. He was in a soft-ass yard. Thought he could run around and play gangster. Probably had like one of them little Benny burners, you know, like the one that he used on Silas. So we're going to call it a Benny burner. And he tried to floss it to Homeboy. Homeboy wasn't playing. Homeboy came out and tried to kill him. Those are death shots right there. 14 times punctured his lungs. Like, that's the reality of this place. No matter how peaceful it looks, no matter how many programs are going in here, ooh-la-las and kumbayas on the yard, that's what this place is. That's what it represents. You know, there's a lot of people in here that don't. And that dude, he was on a lower level, so he had privileges, but in a lot of ways, he had already given up. There's people that don't care about going home. We were one of them. You guys are on the phone talking to two people who did not care about going home. I did not give a shit about getting out. And things have changed. But it was a lot of things that had to transpire for me to be where I'm at right now, to where I see my value in the world. I see that the things that I was doing hurt others. I wouldn't have, even if Tory Lanez disrespected me or did that whole little thing, and, you know, I think about that dude's mother, I think about his siblings, I think about people that love him, and they don't deserve to go through anything like that because I don't know how to deal with my emotions. You know what I'm saying?
I think about if I would have done it, maybe Megan Thee Stallion would show up on my tablet like, I love you, Jesse. And then she'd be in a good place. Oh, did I say that out loud? My bad.
Yep. Hey.
That's just me.
He did say that out loud. I want you to know that, Jesse.
Hey, just wanted to tell you, Janet said she wanted to wish you guys a good night because it's like 1 a.m. where she's at. So before she stepped out, she wanted me to read that.
Janet,
that
no.
to you guys.
Don't go. All right.
Yep, you have a good night, Janet. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for
all you Insomniacs across the pond.
Across the pond?
Oh, for sure. Hey, we tried to go on earlier, but James shut us down. Just want you guys to know that.
It'd be like that sometimes.
I was trying to tell James. Well, I wanted to be the Prime Minister of New Zealand because I believe in myself now. So I figured, that we come on a little early so we can run our campaign.
Yep. Not as fun. Just get out there, shake some hands, kiss some babies.
Yeah. But whatever. Anyway, so what else we got, James?
Let me see. We got a comment from user, and he wrote, "Your past doesn't make you who you are today. Just keep on pushing S's. You guys got this, and keep your held up high.
That's cool. I appreciate you. And yep, and man, you know how many times, man, we tell people, it's like, look, prison and a life sentence is one bad decision away.
Yep.
All the time. It's so fast. Silas, he said that it took 15 seconds for him to get life in prison. Mine was quicker. Yes, there was an argument, there was things that were happening, but the actual act, it was over in seconds. It was that fast. And it's just, man, how do you sum up your entire life for 15 seconds? Is that who you are your entire life, no matter what?
Yep.
I guess that's a hard pill to swallow,
Hey, let me ask you guys something about Benny. Was Benny a lifer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benny's a lifer. Yeah. He's here for 187. He's lost. Benny's lost in the system.
Benny was part of the cartel.
Hey, so
he could have been.
Yep, that was his thing.
Huh?
So if he catches another life sentence over this, does it pretty much reset his his sentence? Like, does he start over like the 25 years from the time he catches that new case, or how's that work?
Oh no,
it gets tacked on.
He'll do this one first, and then he'll start the next one when you're done.
Yeah. So technically, you know me, James. I got 2 life sentences.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lifer, that's how it's classified. Yes, I'm doing 40 years to life, but, that's 40 freaking years to life, dude. That's a long freaking time. But technically, I'm doing 15 years to life plus 25 years to life. I'm doing that consecutive, which means that once I'm done, but you only have to go to board one time. Once I'm done with the 15 years, then I begin my 25 to life. So technically, in September, I'm finishing my 15 years to life, and then I have to begin my 25 years to life in September.
Okay. So whichever...
That is rough.
Yeah. Hey, but you had mentioned earlier, and earlier on you were talking about getting resentenced. What would be the best outcome for you, or what do you envision happening when you go and you get resentenced?
The best outcome for me would be that they recognize that I've taken responsibility. I'm programming, educating myself, so I'm not a threat to society anymore. And they stay the 25 to life, because they can take off the 25 to life. It's a gun enhancement. I use a firearm in the commission of what I'm here for. So.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
So that carries 25 to life. But they have the opportunity. They can take off the 25 to life. That would be best case scenario. Stay it in the interest of justice. Realistically, if they're probably only going to reduce it. If they do anything to reduce it, they might leave it the same. So what I'm hoping, if all else fails, at least that they reduce it to 10 years without the life sentence. So I'll still have to do a sentence of 25 years to life. I go to board after the 25th year. That's what I'm hoping.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully. And when is that you're going to be going to court?
Well, I got court in August.
August.
But they're probably going to postpone it for at least another few months, though. That's going to be a postponement. I just got a new attorney. They got to review my case. I could see it going a whole another year, honestly.
And how long has it been going? How long has it been going for?
2 years.
2 years.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
No, about a year. About a year, Jeff? Yeah, about a year. Yeah. So, man, if they were to drop the gun enhancement or dismiss the gun enhancement, I'll go to board this year. No, I'll go next year. Yep.
Yeah, those gun enhancements they ain't no joke. You know, I know a lot of people that they're still on those gun enhancement time. You know, they got to finish that time up before they get. Yep. So yeah, a lot of people are in there over those gun enhancements.
Yep. You got another call, James?
Yeah, for sure, and I got a lot more comments.
All right, that's cool.
All right, for sure. My apologies. I'm a bit slow on these comments, but I'm going through them. You know, I'm going down one message at a time, if you will. For those of you that are interested in listening to some court cases, I'll probably jump on later on. At least I'll do at least one for today, and then I'll probably start back up tomorrow, doing some more of these. Arizona. I know a lot of you guys like to tune into those court cases, so I know some of you guys like that commentary. So I'll be doing at least one today. I'm not sure if it's gonna be the 8 o'clock one or the 11 p.m., but definitely be on the lookout. 6 a.m. I'm on Florida. Oh. Let me see here.
Esta es Global Telling.
This call is now being recorded.
Una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel-Link.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
All right.
What
So,
you got for us?
okay, so I got one question from CBR1K, and he wants to know, ask them what's the chances of them getting out on parole?
Well, I think excellent. Well, he asked, what are the chances of us getting out on parole?
Well, it's pretty much a guarantee. The question is when.
Mm-hmm.
When will we get out? I personally will be out. This is Jesse. I've been incarcerated for 24 years. I used to have a life without the possibility of parole sentence. Now I'm sentenced to 25 to life. I have 24 years in. I've been to board already one time. I was denied. I get given a 3-year denial. My 3-year denial is up, in February of next year. But I've already submitted my petition to advance because I did everything that they asked me, and then some, a lot more actually. And so I just needed to get a new psych eval, which will be in October. So right now I'm waiting for my new hearing date, which will probably be around anywhere between November and January. And I genuinely believe that I will be getting out of prison this time. They could always deny me again. It's all about the commissioner. The process is real subjective, but I've done everything that I need to do, and then some. I'm ready. There's nothing that they can ask me that I'm not willing to take responsibility for it and show them how I've rectified the situation. But again, it's up to them. So I believe David's going to get out on his first try. So it's just a matter of making sure that your change is genuine and having the right kind of insight, remorse, and responsibility to present to the board. That's what they want. And your behavior has to align with all your words. Everything that you're doing in here has to align with the things you're trying to present to them inside the hearing. So getting out of prison is pretty much a guarantee. The commissioners say it themselves. Your parole date's on the board, on the table. Whether or not you get out is solely up to you, and that's pretty much what it is now. As long as you've done the work, they're going to give you an opportunity. They're going to give you a chance. We're not entitled to it. Definitely isn't fair. Some people ask, some of the victims might feel it's unfair, but that's why we have to get out of prison and live the life but we should have been living before so that we can honor the people whose opportunities we took them from them.
Yeah, I go to board. If all else fails with my resentencing and everything else, I go to board in a little over 6 years. So I got a date. They said that I have an opportunity to go to board after I'm in for 20 years and I'm 50 years old. So I'm going to be 44. So I get to go when I'm 50, and then I'll have 21 years incarcerated, continuous years of incarceration. But they can hold me till I'm super old. Like I've already told everybody, I told James, Jesse, like if I get out of here and I'm 70, I'm going to be a weird ass old man. I'm going to be weird, James. I'm going to be doing 360s on 4-wheel roller skates on Venice, freaking the boardwalk. All kinds of shit.
Hey, so
glow sticks?
Yeah.
Are both of you 44?
No. I'm 43. Jess is 44. He's going to be 45. I'm going to be 44.
Órale, okay.
I'll be 45 in August.
Yeah, and I'll be 44 in September. Like damn near like 14 days after him. 2 weeks. That's it, 2 weeks.
That's
August
it.
20th to September 4th.
Oh, yeah, your birthday's... Yep. Okay.
Yep. And the crazy part is we look super young, too. I don't look old. We're preserved. We've been in a can.
Been on the shelf.
And not having to pay bills, it'll keep your skin looking shiny. No bags under your eyes.
Nope, straight up.
Yeah.
That's why when you guys were talking that homeless shit, when you guys were talking about the homeless earlier, I was just like, man, I don't know. I kind of think I'd rather be in prison than homeless on the streets. Because really, there's no responsibility. In prison, there's no responsibility if you're homeless on the street.
I'm going to go straight out and open up an OnlyFans page. I'm not going to do that, but
for 70 and older?
70 and older, Gold is going to call freaking, Golden fans, that's what I'm going to call it.
You're going to call it the seniors only?
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you about that guy that had a B number? I think it wasn't this in back hearing for this month. I think it was for April. This dude had caught 4 bodies back in the 60s. He had a B number, and they found him suitable to parole. He was like 85. I think he was paroling. Wow. I think he had been in for 49 years or 50. Wow, man. He went in 1966.
Those were the years though when you'll get 8 to life for a body. Yep. 8 times 4, you probably got 24 to life.
Hey, Kyo, I'll give you my list tomorrow. Yeah. Guys are coming by for canteen lists already. I got to turn in my canteen list.
Store's here.
Yep.
Store's here. Store's here.
Hey, we're eating these bomb-ass burritos right now.
Who made them?
Hey, so what else you got? You got some more comments, James?
Yeah.
I made them big gas.
I do. Okay, so I'm going to ask one more question from Karina, and then I want to ask you something because recently somebody sent me a message over it. I want to see what your take is on it. So Karina is asking.
I responded to that message too.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So Tabby, no, this is not. This is actually my main account that you just sent the message on. So the question from Karina is, what made them go to the other side? That's always the $1 million question right there.
I made a horrible mistake and they were going to kill me.
Yep. I overplayed my hand. I was playing a dangerous game and I overplayed my hand. That's the reality. I don't blame anybody over there. I made my own bed. I'm laying in it, and the reality of it is, that's what it was,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I was stacked over there on the main line before, went back to the line, stabbed in a cell before, kept on pushing, but this time it was basically when you know the gig is up, the gig is up. There's no point of going back. And a lot of dudes, I'll never come over here, this, that, and the other thing. But I've heard that from the best of them. Yeah, exactly. I was one of those guys. But the reality of it is, I was living an illusion. you know, and I thank God that the decision was made for me, you know, because now I'm able to actually live life the way life was intended to be lived and not live, you know, like a fool. But
I got very disillusioned though, James. I was extremely disillusioned by that side. I was all in. I was all in. I was comfortable. All my boys were in positions, you know, of power and authority, and I was at home. And I started to second guess a lot of stuff too, though. I would just see just way out shit, man, and there was just always just some complaining and crying going on. And this isn't to talk shit about nobody in particular or anything like that. I just, except for the people I'm talking shit about, you know, this little group of people. But I was around like this. I just got stuck in this little cycle, right, where I was just around these fucking people, man. And it wasn't that everything I did was wrong. It's just that everything was always like, everything that everybody else did was always wrong. And all I heard was freaking complaining all the time. And I started to get sick of it in my head, you know. Like I started thinking like, damn, what am I fucking doing this for, you know? And once that thought comes in your head, it doesn't leave. It might go away for a little while, but it surfaces. And the things that I started to do, I stopped caring really about like the repercussions. You know, I wasn't afraid, you know, when I was over there. Like I was very comfortable there. But once you make a mistake, after all the years of seeing what happens to people that make those mistakes, you know, that sits in the back of your head. You know, I'm not the dude that freaking, you know, I'm walking into a freaking, hey, you got a lot of heart, homie, you know, maybe too much, you know, and they freaking stab you 30 times and throw you off the tier and you're still talking about your story as you fall to the ground. That's not me. You know, I'll be like, I'll be talking like, hey, James, as I fell to the ground with 30 stab holes, I thought to myself, what is this for? You know, it didn't work like that. I was like, man, you know, like Jesse, I overplayed my hand. The situation was different. You know, Jesse was in the thick of that shit. You know, I was too in a lot of ways, but it's just, you know, it's like, man, I'm not dying for this at the end of the day.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
But that didn't fix me either, though. I came to decide, and I started behaving the same way that I was over there. It didn't happen right away, but eventually the fear goes away, the uncertainty goes away. You start to see people you know. A lot more people are, you know, over here than you think, you know. There's all kinds of people I knew. They had stuff going on, and I was still a drug addict. I was still, you know, I still had a warped gang mentality. So I started to slowly chip away at my armor, and before you knew it, I was behaving the same way I was behaving over there. You know, and it just, you reach a time, though, where it's like, all right, well, I started to become disillusioned with the entire criminal lifestyle, where it wasn't like, well, what the fuck am I doing this for? That was what I was thinking when I was, you know, doing all that other shit. But now I'm thinking about it like, why am I on drugs? Why do I want to sit in my cell half dead for 5 days with lower back pain because I've been hunched over a desk drawing for 18 hours? Like, what? Why do I want to do drugs? And then I'm looking around and I'm looking at these walls like, why do I want to do this in here? Is this really what it is? This is all my life is ever going to be? And once that starts to get into your head, it's just a matter of time before something happens, you know? And my change was good. But I needed to hit that rock bottom and everything. I needed to freaking just basically drop out of everything. The whole damn life.
Yep, 100%. That's exactly what it is. We got to get to the same thing like Dave. You know, I came over here and within no time I realized that I was, you know, like I went right back to doing what I knew because I had nobody else to blame anymore. And it was like, damn. And so I had to get to that spot where it was like, okay, I'm still hurting the people who love me. I'm still doing the same stupid shit. And I'm sitting there thinking like, well, hold on. I thought everything that made prison or the shit you were doing what it was over there. So why are you still doing the same stuff here? I didn't realize till after I was sitting in the hole again for narcotics distribution, and I had nobody to blame. I couldn't bullshit my family. I couldn't even bullshit myself because I was literally like looking for an excuse to myself, like, you know. And that's when you start to realize there's something wrong. Like, you full of shit. You've been lying to yourself this whole time, and now that you can't even think of a lie to tell yourself, let alone somebody else, face the music. And that's exactly where I got to that point and was just like, man, I'm done. You know, and so leaving the other side wasn't the end. You know, I left the other side on self-preservation to keep my life, but I didn't change because I left the other side. I encourage guys to change on their own. You know, you don't have to leave the other side. You don't have to. It makes it easier. But people can make change there. They can make change on their own, you know. I wasn't ready. I wasn't one of them dudes that could change there. I wasn't ready to change here. It wasn't until I came to that realization that I was like, all right, hold on. You know, and that sitting in that hole, you know, doing that self-reflection, it was what I needed. You know, I tell people all the time, COVID saved my life, because if I would have left back to level 4 when I got kicked out of the hole, like I should have done, I should have went back to level 4. They had taken my override. I was gone. If I would have went over there, there would have been nothing in me that would have been able to change, because I was a survivor, and the level 4s are a lot different. They're not conducive to change. You got to survive, and that's what I've done my whole life. I've survived. You know, I use it as an excuse to do the shit that
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
But right here, I was able to actually start to get some of the tools that I needed to make sure to plan my transition into constant. So it was definitely an experience. But to answer your question, why did we leave the other side? For me, it wasn't drugs. It wasn't any of that stuff. You know what I mean? I was involved in it in the game, and I overplayed my hand. You know, like David, I wasn't enchanted by it anymore, and I started compromising the things that I was doing. I started doing stupid shit because I'd seen so much dumb shit. But I still believed in what I was doing. I just didn't believe in a lot of the people that I was doing it with. There was a lot of good homies that are still there, living their life, doing what they're doing, and I feel bad because I know what it's like to be lost. I can empathize for them. You know, there's some good dudes, smart ass people over there.
Call back.
Imagine who they could be or what they could be doing right now with their life.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, and for anybody that wants to listen to their backstories, we actually have their backstories on YT at CollectCallFrom. It's under the playlist. If you look up David Lopez or Jesse Nava at CollectCallFrom, links are also on their profile. Just go under the playlist, and you can listen to their back journey if you would like to listen to them. Hey, what up? Build cool things. And somebody was asking me how come I'm not talking. I'm not talking because these phone calls I set up for them. So I'm mostly here to listen and to ask questions.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Yep. Well, thank you for your question, Karina. What else you got, James?
So the other question I was going to ask you was, recently somebody sent me a DM, I would say a concerned, a concerned love or a concerned brother. You know, he was concerned about his brother. His brother had been in prison since the age of 18. He had already been in prison for, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 19 years at this point. And he's on a GP line, and he recently went to parole, and he was denied parole. And from what from what my understanding of the message, he was told by the board of parole that he needed to go to the SNY site for him to parole. And I sent that message over to David, and then whatever response you gave me, I sent back to him. But I wanted to share that with Jesse to see what he thought about it. I know some I've shared it with other individuals, and they told me that doesn't make any sense. That there has to be other things going on in the background. I don't think the parole board would just ask you to cross over to go to the SNY site. So what's your take on it?
No, absolutely not. So you had somebody question you about that?
Yeah, remember it was on my tablet, and I responded. I didn't share any of that with you?
No.
I just responded to her. I think I did, but you forgot. Just let I forget people. All right, so that was a very serious situation we were in, Jess.
The one you shared with me was the one where the dude was going through all that stuff with the renter.
With the who?
With the renter. The one who was renting and was terrorizing his family.
That's old shit right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. This was recent.
He said it. Yeah. All right, no, so there was one about, a few days ago. So it's on my tablet. All right, so and I sent a response to it. Remember about Stay Strong? You don't remember none of that? We talked about this. I probably talked about it with somebody else. Yeah. All right. So anyway, this is serious right there. I gave your advice to change, thinking that that's what you might. Yeah. Well, anyway, so I hope it was good. But no, so this guy, he's got a brother, and there's a few things that stood out, super red flags right off the bat. For one, he said that his brother he's trying to get down to level 3, or that he's thinking about going to level 3, going to board, and that he has another chance to go back in 3 years. So, and he's sharing Centinela. So there's only 1 yard he could be on, which is the only level 4. Huh?
Oh, he's not on a 4 yard.
He's on the 4 yard here in Centinela, which means he's on freaking C yard.
Right.
And he's having an opportunity, or he's trying to get down to a lower level, which would be one of these other yards over here.
Yeah, A or B yard.
But he got an opportunity to go back in 3 years, but the board wants him to check in, but he's still, quote unquote, staying strong. And that's my red flag right there. That's one of the big red flags. Yeah. And this is the thing, man. The board is not going to implicitly tell you, we're not going to let you out unless you go SMY.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
They can hint about his gang involvement and things like that. They can tell him straight up, like, we think you're involved in freaking gang activity and we're not letting you out because you're a threat to public safety. I don't know. C yard is a very dangerous yard. Fucking yard is dangerous. And the people that are over there, I'm not saying everybody there is bad or this and that, but there's a lot of people, there's a lot of shit going on there, on that yard. And if there's anything popping up, like if he's involved in something, and there's a lot of people that talk on those yards too, so they got to have some sort of information if they deny them for that. 1030s, which are confidentials, or something. Staff observations, they got cameras. He might be around people that he probably should stay away from. Everybody knows everybody's business.
Yeah, the reality is the board's not going to tell you go S and Y, period. He got some sort of documentation that said that he was involved in some sort of activity, and that's just the reality of it. And a lot of guys are doing it. I don't know of hardly anybody that's paroling from the level 4, main line. But,
yeah.
But because if you're still on a level 4, everybody has the opportunity to go down to a lower level now. Everybody. They're going to send everybody down that wants to go down. And
you only have to be clean for 1 year.
1 year, and you can get off a 4 yard. So if you're on a 4 yard, it's because you're choosing to stay there or you're getting in trouble still. It's just that simple.
And I was wondering how he got a 3 year hit, which makes me think, well, he went to board, so he didn't stipulate. So there's something they're seeing. It doesn't mean they're going to let him out in 3 years, but the fact that they didn't hit him with a 5 year or a 7 year.
Some effort to go in there and not, he tried did it, shot his load, but he only knows what he knows, and that's what it boils down to. But as far as him leaving, he doesn't have to go S and Y to get out of prison. What he does have to do is he has to start putting some distance between the way he thinks and the way he feels. And that's why I tell people all the time, we don't promote GPS and Y, none of that shit. We're promoting prison reform and getting out of prison. And dudes can do it over there. I look back and I remember guys like that who used to just mind their own business, stay out of the way. Yeah, don't get me wrong. If you're there and something happens with another race, which is usually slim to none now, or something, you can't get off with the Huras anymore. You can't get off with another race unless it's completely sanctioned. And even then, it's not going to happen because the power that be have already signed an end hostilities treaty. And so that things, the things that you have to worry about as a group disturbance are not going to be. They're 9 out of 10 times they're not going to come to some guy who's programming and completely out of the way and say, hey, you got to do this. No, they're going to go to dudes who are trying to be somebody, who are getting in debt, dudes that they want gone, things like that. They're not, very seldomly are they going to ask somebody, hey, you got to do this, we need you to do this, that isn't in the way. If you're not putting that kind of light on yourself, So guys over there, if they put distance between the bullshit, if they're not getting high, they're not hanging out, like they're not running around getting other people's business, they're just doing their time, going to school, going to work, going to yard, exercising, going to self-help and getting the information that they need. Now, there's only a certain level of distance you can put in your mind from the things that you believe, you know, and by being there. That is one thing that I can't imagine being who I am today and being over there, but I'm kind of an all-in, you know, all in or all out type of person. But yep. I know guys who, there's my neighbor, he just came from over there, and he had been programming over there already on level 4, but then he came right here to a level 3, and the guy who was in charge there, they had an issue with him going to program because they know they're losing people. They know a lot of people ain't subscribing to the bullshit anymore. So guys who are actually valiantly putting in solid efforts to get out of prison, this happened to be one of those places where the guy was like, oh, that's pussy stuff, or that ain't cool, you know. But that's
while you're trying to go home. This is home.
Yeah, this is prison. This is what you signed up for, you know. And that's not the norm, though. That's, you know, what is it? That's outside the norm. Most places, even when I was over there, I remember, you know, one of the dudes that I used to mess with, when he first got out of the shoe, the first thing he told me was like, hey, man, because I used to have life without parole. And this is when I was in the thick of everything. And this is one of them boys, and he told me, he's like, hey, man, he goes, I thought you got resentenced and you got your LWOP taken off. I thought you were supposed to be going home or something. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, well, didn't you get your LWOP taken off? And I was like, well, yeah. And he's like, well, then what the fuck are you doing? You know, why are you still fucking around? And I was like, man, I'm in prison till I get out of prison. You know what I mean? That's what it is. And he was like, all right, well, if you don't care about your time, then why should I care about your time?
Yeah.
And that was literally his response. He tried to tell me right off the top, this is the first time I had talked to this dude in years, and it's exactly what he said. He was like, hey, man, I thought you got your LWOP taken off. Why are you still fucking around?
Yeah, straight up. Like, that's love right there, you know?
Yeah, there are dudes that are trying to put you in the right path, and you can do it over there on the main line. It's just all about what kind of resolve you have and what kind of vices you have. You know, like you could be from your neighborhood over there just being there, you know, just along for the ride. But if you still have heart for your neighborhood, you still have heart for the cause, then the reality of it is you're just going to get out of prison and come back because you still believe in the things that you believe in. You know, that's just, for me, that's where the problem lies, the contradiction. You know, but whether or not you have to leave that side to get out of prison, I don't think so. You know, I know a lot of dudes over there that can program, you know, and just stay the hell out of the way and go through the motions and do what you need to do to get out of prison. And they'll live their lives because if they stay away from, you know, the bullshit in here, they can usually stay away from it out there. People like David and I, we weren't those kind of people. We were the kind of people that were always into some shit.
Yeah, all the time.
And so that's the difference, you know, and I never would have done it there. I was just having trouble with it here. So it's just now the things that I know today, I could absolutely be over there and mind my own business and just, you know, stay out the way. You know, it just, you know, but it's just like I said, it would be hard. You know, the conflict within would be hard because it's hard to like know what I know today and then you know, still try to be there with the fellas like that, because to me it's like now I'm doing my own time. I don't do anybody else's time, and that's not how it is over there. You're always doing somebody's time.
When I heard the staying strong thing, right, he's still over there staying strong, that didn't sit well with me because I know what that means now. And it's like, look, you're either strong or you're not. It's just what it is. You know, and you staying over there doesn't mean that you're strong or not. It doesn't make no difference. You could be over here staying strong too. You're staying strong. What he's saying is he's staying strong into the gang politics, into that lifestyle.
Yep.
That ideology. You know, they always say, "Oh, right here to staying strong." You know what I mean? Like doing what you do. Like that's what it is.
I still subscribe.
Yeah, I still subscribe to that ideology. Level 4. No matter what I'm going through, I'm pushing through. And yes, it takes strength to go through that, but you don't have to. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to do it. You don't have to check in to leave all that behind. You know, they do have non-designated program facilities. We're not SNY no more. Jesse and I, we signed off on our SNY Chronicles. We're done. We're non-designated program facility, and we had to literally sign off and say we don't subscribe to any of those labels anymore. I'm not active. I'm not active. I'm just David.
I'm just doing my time.
I'm doing my time, and I don't give a shit what people are here for. I don't care where people come from. I don't care if they're GP. There's GPs on the yard. They don't claim they They never went to an SNY yard. They never debriefed or anything like that. They're here. This is what it is. They're minding their own business, getting the hell out of here. You know, to that ideology, yeah, this yard is what it'll be considered no good. But people who want to go home don't care about that. Give a shit about who thinks that we're no good and, you know, to the gang or anything like that. That don't matter, you know. And I felt bad for that dude's brother. I thought, like, man, you know, this dude's been in for so long. He's been in since he was 18 years old or 19 years old.
Who was that dude on the message?
Yeah. And he's been in for 19 years, been in since he was 18 or something like that. His brother loves him enough to where it's like, man, he said, I heard you help people go home. And I said, we absolutely help people go home. We just keep it real and tell people what it is. You don't have to tell on all your friends and,
you definitely got to get out that 4-yard and start working your points down to a level 2.
Yep, but once you're level 2, you're going to be non-designated anyway.
Yeah, you stay there on that level 2. You never leave again.
No.
And you don't have to go. You don't have to tell on anybody. None of that. You just simply program, stay out of trouble, and get to a level 2. Yeah, the camaradas, the homies over there tell you you can't go to a level 2 because once you go level 2, you're non-designated. You're going to be there with dudes that Segun or no good or however you want to call it, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you're doing your own time. Who gives a damn who's there and what they're there for? All you should be worried about is doing what you have to do to get back to your family, because none of them motherfuckers that want you there with you are going to do your time for you. Nope. Them dudes don't care about what your brother or your family or your mom or your dad are going through. At the end of the day, it is what it is.
They're your family now, you know, over there. That's how they look at it. But it's messed up. I feel for that dude. You know, I feel for that dude. I feel for his brother lost in the sauce. That's what it is. What else you got for us, James?
Let me see here. Tiffany writes, I want to be a fly on the wall at the Menendez brothers parole hearing.
Oh, man, you and me both.
Yeah, me too.
You and me both. That shit's such a double standard for them fools. Those fools are so full of shit.
Hey, but let me tell you this, though. I think, James, that you should...
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Get those transcripts.
Mm-hmm.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Oh, it'll be a public record, and we could talk about all the double standards that are going to be in their hearing.
Yep, we can talk about how they got treated completely different than anybody else who goes into those hearings.
If we got caught with a cell phone, we're gonna be doing 5 more years.
Yeah, both of them fools got caught with a cell phone in less than in last year, and one of them even admitted to using it for drug transactions, and yet they got a moderate psych eval. Like, how is that even possible? I had a drug case 3 years earlier and got a high psych eval.
Yep, because of that. And we're not saying they shouldn't go home. I'm just saying that they got to treat everybody fairly. You know, that's not a factor for them. It shouldn't be a factor for us.
Yep, those guys aren't doing anything different than a bunch of other guys that I've watched them put through the ringer to get out of prison. Them fools ain't no model inmates. They've been caught with gripophones.
All right, so their call got disconnected. They should be calling back shortly. So, Hype Queen. So yeah, so if you want to check out the videos, they are on YT. If you go to Arizona Court, go to a playlist Arizona Court, and you can see all the hearings from today. From hold on, was it Pima? Did you put Pima or Maricopa? Oh, you know what? The Maricopa one might be messed up from this morning. But yeah, it's up there. The audio's on there for sure. I know. I was driving when I was streaming it, so my phone got messed up, but it might be on there. Yeah, or you know what? You could also check it out on Tucson 857. He streams those every day too on YT. You know, just look up Tucson 857, and his will be nice and clear. Tell him James sent you over.
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
Un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Okay.
What up, David?
Hey, Jesse was on a rant. He feels strongly about this Menendez brothers business. I do too, but it enrages Jesse. He goes beside himself. I see smoke flying out his ears. It's only because, like I said, it's not about the fact that, hey, whether they deserve or not deserve to go home. It's all fairness. You don't think that we would love to just be able to just kick back in here on a freaking cell phone? We could be doing video calls endlessly. We could be freaking watching Netflix and just chilling, and
we could be actually live streaming this freaking
right now
podcast right now.
I'd be sitting in my boxers right here, just looking at you guys out there in the world.
I'd be sitting here naked. I hope you guys don't mind, but that's me. I'm in the music business.
I would be running my OnlyFans page right now.
Yeah, I'd be running my back page right now.
his back page.
I'm not sure what that is, but it definitely sounds like something bogus, so I'm with it.
For a good time. Yeah, I'll be doing voiceovers for a good time. Call Jesse right now. You can hear Dave in the background. Pick up the phone. Yeah. Hey. Absolutely. That would be fucking... No, but we can't. And the thing is, we can't because, look, man, we're in prison. We have to follow the damn rules. It's just what it is. You know, and we know that what it goes into to even get a cell phone to begin with, there's all kinds of shit. Jesse and I, we both had them in here. We know what it is. It's a big old freaking mission.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You got to be all deceitful. You got to try to, there's all kinds of illicit transactions and all kinds of shit goes into freaking keeping one of those things. Getting one.
That's why it's funny that they keep talking about what great inmates and model role models they are and this and that. It's like, you can't follow simple rules of prison. You got a cabinet in your cell. You got the whole world batting for you out there, but yet you don't care. You're so greedy and selfish that you don't care about following the rules. You think the rules don't apply to you, just like the night you decided to murder your parents for money.
In a crazy way,
crazy way.
Yeah, they shotgunned them all over the place. There was guts and brains all over the ceiling. It was a crazy killing.
And just think about how they're continuing to victimize those people by refusing to take responsibility for the crime and their time. You know, the fact that they're not doing their time without a cell phone, that in itself is man, I'm above. I don't care that my parents are lying in a cold, hard ground because of me. I'm going to do whatever feels best to me. Forget the victims. That don't mean nothing to me. I'm Lyle and Eric Menendez. I'll do whatever I want. And I say this because that's exactly who I was. For many years, that's exactly how I thought. I didn't give a damn about nobody.
It's like looking in the mirror.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to do exactly what I wanted to do, whatever I felt was going to make my time easier. That was having a cell phone, being on drugs so I could escape my reality, and just not giving a damn, period. I didn't care about nobody. I didn't care about my victims. I didn't care about the guards, the prison, none of that. Whatever felt right to Jesse, that's what the fuck I was going to do. And that's the difference between somebody taking responsibility and feeling remorse. When you feel remorse, you're not going to put people in those situations. You're not going to compromise some guard's job. You're not going to compromise your cellie's freedom. You're not going to compromise.
Nope.
It just becomes a thing, you know? And so
I wouldn't even do something that I thought would get Jesse in trouble, even if it was something small. You know, it's just not worth it, man.
Hey,
I want us both to get the hell out of here so we can grow big old mustaches. Go ahead.
I got a question from Mel. She says she's asking, can you ask them if they think that the brothers were actually victims of their parents? And then after that, I got another question from Lovejoy.
I don't know. I don't trust people generally, so I think they're full of shit. But what do I know?
Personally, do I believe either one of them was ever molested by the parents? I believe not the parents, the dad. The mom had nothing to do with that. Dragging the mom into that later on, which was a part of their fucking continued victimization of the parents. Was the dad molesting them? I don't doubt it. I don't put nothing past these weird ass people in this world.
Yeah.
So I'll even give them that. I will even give them that. That let's just say both of them were victims of sexual abuse. That does not excuse what they did. That is not a reason to viciously murder your parents. No, not at 21 years old. Maybe let's just say you were a 13, 14-year-old little boy and your dad's coming home and raping you and doing, hurting you in ways, and you just, out of pure terror, you say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore, and you grab your dad's gun and you shoot him. That's the kind of crime that is excusable under that defense. You know what, the little boy was just sick and tired of being molested and being abused and being victimized, and in that moment, the little boy made an impulsive, emotional decision and that he felt was going to fix his situation because a 13-year-old boy doesn't have the mental capacity to understand the gravity of the situation and how it's going to become worse by making that choice. But a 21-year-old college student, an 18, 19-year-old, adult, young adult, albeit, but at the same time, these were two spoiled fucking brats who planned their parents' murder for 6 months. That's not a crime of passion. That's not a crime of victimization. That's a crime of greed right there. They knew the parents were going to X them out of the will. They knew it was going to be, and so these people were literally going. That's why they went on that big old crime spree. That's why they had this big old elaborate scheme of coming up with alibis. That's not somebody who killed somebody because they were a victim of their abuse. That's somebody who killed somebody because they had a motive, because they had an agenda and an objective. And that objective was to get their parents' money, spend their parents' money, to hopefully not get kicked out of the will, because the dad was already going to kick them out of the will because they were full of shit. Now, was he abusing them? There's no real proof of that, but I'm going to give him that. I believe that because it happens more often than you would think. So I do believe that there's a chance that the dad was abusing them 100%. But there's all kinds of kids who, survivors who endure that kind of abuse, and they don't turn around and kill their parents. And in fact, very, very seldomly do they kill their parents, because most kids that are getting abused like that, they end up with Stockholm syndrome. It's somehow, some way they were manipulated into believing that was the way parents showed love, or uncle, or a lot of survivors of sexual abuse. There was a reasoning in their mind why they let it go on or continue to allow it. And a lot of times it's the shame of thinking it was their fault or something like that. But it's never their fault. What them dudes did was whether or not they were being abused by their dad. What about the mom? What about the mom? Why did you do that to your mom? I don't give a damn if she was allowing it. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Think what they did. They shot her. How many times they shot her? 16. They shot them 16 times, right?
But why didn't you just call the cops?
Exactly. You're a grown-ass man. You're gone. One of them wasn't even living in the house anymore. One of them was out of the house. The one that supposedly was enduring most of the abuse wasn't even living there anymore. But Segun, he came back so he could save his brother.
Well, you can't call the cops because they would have been snitching.
Yeah, don't call the cops and tell your dad's molesting you.
Can't be snitching. Jesse, don't even suggest that.
Yeah. So yeah. No, but to answer that question, I do believe that they probably were at some point. One of them, maybe even both of them, who knows, were being exposed to sexual abuse as young teenagers. But come on, these were grown-ass men. One of them was 19 and one of them was 21, right? Or how old were they? 18 and 20 or 19 and 21?
Something like that, yeah.
Either way, they you know what I mean? Like, come on. They both them dudes had the wherewithal to either report it, get away from it, but they didn't. They didn't. What it was is they knew that they were going to get kicked out of the money, and they're like, man, we got to knock these people off before we end up getting kicked out of this will, and we got to spend some of this money. That's greed. The same kind of greed and the same kind of reckless impulsiveness behavior that they're still exhibiting today by saying, these rules don't apply to me. I don't care about that. I'm going to use these cell phones to buy drugs in prison, and I'm going to live my life and do my time. One of them dudes literally
was going out to visit with his wife and coming back to the cell and sleeping with his boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, what about? No, it's true.
That's it. Yeah, it's real shit. It's real talk.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's real talk.
That's really known.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hey,
it's true.
I just saw Liceman typing in. The Liceman showed up at the right time.
Hey, Liceman.
Hey, Liceman, what's up, my guy?
Yep.
How you doing, bro? We hope everything's good.
Yep.
Blessed on your end of town.
That is one of the originals right there.
Yep.
Iceman.
Can't wait to see Iceman when we get out there.
Yeah, we're gonna go out there. Yep.
Iceman gonna take us on vacation to Mexico.
I'm not going to Mexico, Jess.
Hell no, you too dark. They're gonna have your ass in the jungle, slave driving out there in one of the cartel ranches.
Absolutely. Hey, what was I gonna tell you, James, about? Yeah, so Menendez brothers are bad, but don't forget to get their transcripts, James. We gotta bring those transcripts, and we gotta talk about what happened on the. Yeah, we gotta have a freaking talk about that.
I definitely want to read those transcripts.
So I hope go ahead.
As a matter of fact, I'm email the CDCR so I could get on their news on the. I'm assuming they're gonna do it like the way they did with that one girl that that had that parole board here in San Diego. They're probably gonna have like Channel 8 or one of the bigger news organizations filter out and send out play by play of the board of parole hearing. So I'm gonna try to sign up for that, and hopefully they allow it, and I'm able to get information the day of, so we don't have to wait around.
Hey, do you got any like media credentials?
Nah, I don't.
Anything like that you got?
Nah, I don't. But
I gotta get you some media credentials. Huh? You can't get those on like the dark web or anybody in Europe.
James like Kermit the Frog right there. This
is Kermit reporting live from Centinela BPA.
What the fuck? I didn't know this fucking talk like that. It's fucking got a gang of fucking voices. He's super cool.
You know how Kermit the Frog has that little newscaster fucking.
Yeah, but you sounded perfectly like him though. That was fucking crazy. I don't know. Didn't he sound like we all knew who he was? Right there, I saw it too. I saw James yapping away. It's Kermit the Frog.
Bobbling back
his mouth opening. Yeah, that shit was great. Oh man. So anyway, you got to do that, James. Do that.
Yeah, for
hey, what
sure.
else you got? You got any other questions out there from our Somniacs across the pond, or those in the U.S.? What do you got for us?
So we got a question from Leash from Australia, and she wants to know, James, can you ask them what time day room is at?
7 o'clock.
You guys got 7
30
o'clock?
minutes.
All right. Let me see
7
here.
o'clock day room. Yep.
Eleanor wrote.
She's waiting to call.
Yep.
She's waiting to call Silas. Silas better get on. He better secure that kiosk.
Yep.
Hey.
Better get out there before I do, because now I'm snatching it.
Oh boy, yeah, Jesse's a kiosk monster. Yeah.
What else you got?
Let me see. Eleanor asks, "Are the brothers being released?" So
They're not being released.
Yeah.
They got to go to board.
Yeah.
They go to the pro board. That's what Jesse and I. They don't just let people like us out. Not with our histories. We got to go through a forensic psychologist. We got to talk to them. They give us a comprehensive risk assessment to see what do you call it? The probability that we'll reoffend, whether it's high, medium, or low. And then you go in front of a panel, a parole board panel, and these guys will pick you apart. They will, it's not like they're doing this malicious. They're not doing this. I'm not saying that they're doing anything maliciously. It's just that their job, they're paid very well. They're very well trained and educated to detect bullshit. If they believe you're a threat to public safety, you're not going home. So we got to go through that. So does the Menendez brothers.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
They look at us having a cell phone and things like that is, hey, we're probably going to go out there and commit crimes again. We're doing it in here. We ain't learned. We're not taking responsibility. Therefore, we're going to have to sit in here for a little longer. James, you got another call on you, or what are we doing here?
This is if you guys call back, we could go ahead and part ways, because I got my daughter waiting for me right now. So this will be the last one, but
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
we could go do some proper
Well, I hope
going
she's
away.
not in a hot car or anything.
Nah, with the windows rolled up.
Yeah. Oh, you're one of them, James. I'll call you back.
All right, cool. All right. So yeah, so they're gonna call back right now. We're gonna go ahead and be ending this call. But hey, I do appreciate you guys tuning in. You know, I haven't been on for the last week or two, or who knows how long I haven't been on. But I haven't forgotten about you guys. Just life catches up with you sometimes. Mel writes, very interesting. Let me see. Where are the two guys vacationing? They're vacationing in Centinela State Prison. Brittany writes, their laughs are infectious, laughing out loud. Do they have any kids? I believe they do. They do have kids. Do you know how hard I've been writing for the Menendez brothers? Let me see here.
Esta es Global Telling.
This call is now
Usted
being
tiene
recorded.
una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada
all right,
y grabada.
Jeanette. Have a good
You
one.
have a
Thank you.
prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now we got to do that. Remember that sing-along send-off? That's who we are now. Like Mr. Rogers. Right now, Jesse's singing. He's putting on his wool vest, lacing up his Stacey Adams, combing his hair. The little train just went by. That's about it for us. I'm out of here.
That's
So yeah,
right.
we will go to day room. Don't worry out there in Australia. Your boy will be on his way to a kiosk in 34 minutes. That's 34. I don't know how to say it in Australian. Or it's like they say they say it like 34. Like, how you say it? We're going to the day room in like 34 minutes.
That's country. You did country right there.
Tennessee, man.
We go in the day room in like 34 minutes. That's Jesse talk. Yeah, but so anyway, 33 minutes now. But anyway, no, it was good, man. Spending time with you guys. Miss you guys. Miss the world.
Yep.
We're gonna be right here, just spinning our thumbs in circles in prison for a little while.
Yep, definitely want to send our love out to everybody that's listening, all the regular listeners.
Yep. ICEMAN, we are surviving somehow.
Man, yeah, we all right, man. I hope you good. Hopefully everything's going good, man. Step in anytime.
Bobby, why do you always cover your window? Look, everybody, he's actually bald. Let me show you.
What the?
I told you.
She's on you. Yeah, she's on you.
Yeah.
Ask her to say 32 minutes in Australian.
She just busted down the door. I have the red light, so she knows that I'm in here recording. She's like, screw that, I'm done. I'm done waiting. I'm gonna go get mines.
Hey,
Look, everybody, he's bald.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's crazy is that I'm trying to think about it right now. Like when we used to do like Europe accents and or accents from like London and Australia and all that stuff, because we do that over here. We're idiots. We're goofballs. We do stuff like that. But I've never heard anybody go through numbers.
With an accent? Oh.
With an accent. Like, yeah. I have no idea how to say freaking any numbers in Australian accent.
That makes two of us.
Yeah, Crocodile Dundee.
That's Crocodile Dundee.
That's the line down under?
Yeah. Looking at these jaguars,
Yeah. Jaguars, man.
Jaguars.
There, yeah, you got it right there.
That's how you say. Yeah, but
that ain't a noise. This is a noise.
This is a noise. That's it right there, Hey, we love our friends in Australia, though. Australians, I don't got one bad thing to say about someone from Australia.
What do you know about Australia or anybody from Australia?
I watch Shark Week.
Australian Shark Week. Yeah. Okay. Well, then the options are enough.
No, I grew up watching Crocodile Dundee, and I've seen Steve the Crocodile Hunter. And,
Hello, this
like,
is the real James. This big boy, he's not the real James.
Oh, that's the alligator hunter.
Oh.
I watch those things.
Anyway, I got bit by a stingray or something.
I got something bad to say about pretty much everywhere in the world except for Australia
That's pretty awesome.
and New Zealand because I'm running for Prime Minister.
Yeah, Prime Minister. We know the job's open right now. But yeah, I just want to send a shout out to everybody, all of the supporters. Thank you guys for being here. It's been cool hanging out, bullshitting, talking.
Jesse and David.
Shout out to all our regulars.
He is boss.
LastChanceHomie. If you tune in later, we send our love to you. Jessica, thanks for being here all week. I love, thanks for everything.
Johnny,
of course.
Yep. We miss Mad Max and
Max is not here today.
Nope,
Marlene isn't here today.
Nope. Oh man, we got a lot of radios out there. Keep an eye out for Jose Diaz too.
Nobody.
I suspect Jose Diaz.
All right, guys. Hey, I do appreciate you guys. She's out of control.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Hey, around here, life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you get. Is that what we get?
Yeah.
That's right. Hey, life's like a candle once you blow it out.
No,
She said no a rato.
Rato.
Rato. Hey guys, hey, I'm going to cut it. I appreciate you guys. And with that,
don't cut it.
and with that, do it. And with that,
yeah, arato. No, arato. No, don't listen to him. No.
come on, let's go.
Porque